I got my hopes up, and then you know how it goes. A pretty universal experience for everyone, and certainly a familiar experience for creatives and artists. This is part making of a piece of art that felt meaningful and true to me. It's also part an exploration of the disappointment and missed expectations that came with it. But mostly it's about reframing that self-doubt and imposter syndrome. This is a girl with horns. So I poured a ton of thought and preparation and effort into creating this piece. The end result was something that pretty well captured my intent, what I wanted to communicate, and that was as good as I could do, technically, as a baby painter. It was made specifically with the hope that I'd submit it to an art award, which ultimately it didn't get selected for. Now, I will caveat all of this by saying that I don't doubt for 1 second the selection panel's choices. For this specific award, I know the standard was incredibly high, and I'm just a beginner painter. This isn't about that at all, really. It's about navigating disappointment with yourself. Whenever I encounter one of these setbacks, I usually have a couple of days of kind of spiraling with imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and just the self-belief wobbles in general. It's one of the reasons I haven't in the past participated in any art competitions or grants applications, or even really submitted to juried exhibition call-outs. I usually just wait for the things that I'm invited to. Part of me just doesn't think it's helpful to try and measure our creative practice and our art in that way. But the other part of me realizes that the reality of being a practicing artist, getting better at your craft, means you have to get out there and you have to get uncomfortable. And this discomfort can really lead to growth. I know for me this year it really has. So I've been putting myself out there. I've been throwing my hat into the ring. I've been reaching for things that I am probably not qualified to reach for. Case in point, this latest disappointment. But as well as leading to artistic growth, it's also led to some solid days of questioning absolutely everything. Plumbing the depths of imposter syndrome, doubting my ability, comparing myself to my heroes and my contemporaries alike, which helps no one. We know that. And just questioning my career choices, my life, my creative path, and generally just feeling like I'm not good enough. Initially, when I got the feedback about this art award, I sort of thought, I'm going to have to get rid of this work. It now represents for me a disappointment, a failed effort, a falling short. But I sat with it for a while, and my thoughts started to reframe. I actually saw a thought float past, and it said, I believe in this work. So if you're ever down in this hole, where I think a lot of us creatives do find ourselves, that might be the mantra, that I believe in this work. It started me down a path of thoughts, and it led me to this. If you're going to be putting yourself out there for external judgment, you need to be clear and strong in this one belief. Once you've created a work that's meaningful and true, that you believe in, and that you've done it to the best of your ability, and the job is done, that is unimpeachable. No one can come between you and that act of creation and expression. It doesn't matter if in the wider context of art, it's unrecognised or it's never seen by anyone at all. The act of expressing your ultimate truth is the divine part, the honest part, the most important part. So Girl with Horns is that for me. It says what I wanted to say, and when I look at it, I mostly feel the things that I wanted to convey. I can see the technical shortcomings, and I know that I was on the borderline of my ability. I couldn't do any better than that. So I feel exactly like any artist does when they look at their own work. I can see what could have been done better, what I couldn't do better, what should be changed, where more time could have been spent. But ultimately, it is what I meant. And it also feels like it might be a doorway to more, which I think is the thought. I believe in this work. So when I was thinking about putting together this video, I saw one of my artist friends post something where she said, I've applied for everything this year and I've gotten nothing. She was optimistic about it, but it really brought home for me that this is something that we all experience, and even if we're not in the creative fields, we experience it somewhere in our life. And I will acknowledge that I should know better than to let external forces influence how I feel about myself or my work, but I wanted to be honest and I wanted to be vulnerable because we do feel these kind of things and we can't help it. Sometimes you do just feel disappointed. That's okay. You need to acknowledge that we're going to encounter these things and figure out a way to grow from them rather than be crushed by them. I know that that is how we grow, is by stretching ourselves, putting ourselves in places where we may not yet be qualified to be, but it is a hard feeling. I know most people in the creative industries feel the same way. So I thought it was important to share this because I know everyone goes through the same things, we get the same disappointments, whether or not we even work in creative fields. But specifically for those of you who are artists, who are exposing your souls on the regular, I just wanted to share that we all feel and encounter these same disappointments. We all feel like imposters sometimes, like we're not good enough, like we are kidding ourselves to be doing what we're doing. But I hope that the voice that says that you believe in your work, you believe in what you do, is always louder than the voice that tells you you don't deserve to be doing it.